Hola amigos, ¿qué tal? Joe here from Spain Speaks with an update video today. Bit of a feedback video, go over some of the comments, some of the main points that were spoken about in the comment section, and also give a bit of an update on what is happening in the country at the moment. And there are plenty of things happening today all over the country, so stay tuned for that. Again, coming to you from my couch today. I was going to do the video outside, but it started to rain. It actually started to rain quite heavily, so those plans had to be canned, and I had to set up the camera again here in the study. And I've chosen the couch again because it's a lot more comfortable than the other chair that I have in this office. So what's going on around the country? Well, the main word, as we know in Spain at the moment, is curfew. I mentioned this word in the video the other day. The Spanish translation for curfew is toque de queda, and all around the country at the moment these toques de queda or curfews are starting to be announced by politicians. Today, for example, Madrid came out and announced its curfew, what the restrictions are going to be. Valencia has done something similar. Yesterday, Granada also said that they're going to have a curfew in that particular city, and different cities around Spain are going to impose curfews this weekend. And how long they're going to be around for, nobody knows. And of course, in typical fashion, there's going to be different curfews according to where you are. So the curfew in Madrid is not going to be the same as the one in Granada, and the curfews in Castilla y Leon might also be different. And the whole idea of implementing these curfews has not been easy either. It's been a bit difficult for the central government to organize something because all of the autonomous communities couldn't come to an agreement, and there were legal problems as well for the central government to impose a series of restrictions that were going to be common throughout the country. And that's one of the problems that we also have here at the moment, that there's different health statistics around the country. So for example, the Canary Islands doesn't have the same numbers as some of the places on mainland Spain. The Prime Minister has come out today and asked for people in this country to show social discipline, to adhere to the rules, to not have parties, to not go to bars if it's not necessary, to not gather with a lot of people. And he's called on people to act responsibly in order to get this situation under control, because it only seems to be getting worse and worse. And nobody seems to know what the long-term plans are going to be. Are these curfews only going to be a temporary measure to see if numbers come down? Are they going to implement more serious curfews in the future? Another possible lockdown? Those are some of the questions that people are asking themselves in the country at the moment. Some people think that there's going to be a severe lockdown again. Some people don't, but that's not the message that politicians are putting out at the moment. They're in favor of these curfews depending on the health situation in each particular area, and of course other restrictions if necessary, like the ones that we have currently in Navarra and La Rioja, where those particular autonomous communities are closed at the moment. Nobody can go in and nobody can go out unless you have a very, very good reason for doing so. So it does seem clear that the central government still wants each autonomous community to handle this situation. They don't seem to want to go back to that situation we had at the beginning of the year, where the central government took control of the whole country and we had that severe lockdown. They seem to want to avoid that. Now, as we know, the Madrid community is in a state of alarm at the moment, and the city of Madrid is also closed. You can't go into the city and you can't leave the city unless you have a good reason to do so. But that ends tomorrow, and that is why Madrid today has announced the curfew. It's going to be a curfew that starts at 12 midnight and it's going to finish at 6 o'clock in the morning. And from 12 midnight to 6 o'clock in the morning, people are not allowed to gather either in a public space or in a private space. So, for example, if you are in Madrid and you decide to have a dinner party tomorrow night, invite 6 people over to your home, which I think you are allowed to do, you are not going to be able to have that dinner party past 12 midnight. And the Madrid government has also announced that they're going to change the closing times of bars and restaurants. Up until now, they have to shut at 11 o'clock, last meals served at 10, but that has been extended to midnight. So at midnight, everything has to close and everybody has to get home. So 12 midnight to 6 a.m., then at 6 a.m. things can open up again. And in Madrid, they've also announced that they are going to go back to confining certain health areas. Health areas that have a high incidence rate will be confined, so it's not going to be the whole city. And that also means that people in Madrid city are going to be able to travel around the country again and go to places that are open. But of course, people are going to be advised against doing this. The government wants people to stay home. The government wants people to stay in their neighborhoods. They don't want people to travel around the country. Although you can do it, people are being warned against doing it. So Madrid starting with a curfew. I also mentioned that Valencia is starting with a curfew this weekend as well. I think it's going to be similar to the one in Madrid, starting at 12 midnight and going through to 6 o'clock in the morning. So if you are in the Valencian community, be aware of that. Also in Granada City, but I'm not sure of the times in Granada. I'm not sure whether they're going to shut at 12 or a little bit earlier. And I think that Castilla y León is also going to impose a curfew. Not sure whether it's today or tomorrow on that particular autonomous community and all of the cities in that area. So Avila, Burgos, Salamanca City, Zamora, all of the cities in that area. Segovia is another one. Lots and lots of cities in Castilla y León that are going to have a curfew imposed today or tomorrow. So interesting times we are living in mainland Spain at the moment. Now, we spoke the other day about the motion of no confidence, or the no confidence vote that was brought to the Spanish Parliament by the political party Vox. Well, that fizzled out yesterday. It came to nothing. I think there was something like 288 votes against that motion of no confidence, and only the members of Vox voted in favour. And it turned into a pretty heated debate, not only between Podemos and Vox, which are the two extreme parties in the parliament at the moment, but also between the PP, the Partido Popular, and Vox, who are both parties on the right side of the political spectrum. In fact, the leader of the PP, Mr. Casado, in his speech during that motion, really attacked the leader of Vox, saying that it was a huge waste of time and that there was no way that he was going to give his support to it. And of course, this left Vox a little bit red-faced, as they were counting on the support from the Partido Popular and they didn't get it. And of course, that verbal attack that I just mentioned left the leader of Vox, Mr. Abascal, a little bit embarrassed. And it also puts in jeopardy some of the coalitions that Vox has around the country with the Partido Popular. For example, in Andalusia, I think in Madrid also, they are in coalition with the Partido Popular. So I'm not really sure exactly what's going to happen there. And basically what the Partido Popular did yesterday was distance itself from Vox. A lot of people associate those two parties because, as we know, a lot of the main members of the Vox party have their origins in the Partido Popular, not least, of course, the leader of Vox, Santiago Abascal. He, of course, started his political career in the Partido Popular, leaving to form Vox. And of course, a lot of people associated those two parties. Both parties, as I mentioned, belong to the right side of politics. But yesterday, I think that the Partido Popular was trying to come closer to the centre and get away from that extreme right, which of course, as we know, has a fairly bad reputation in this country. So it's going to be interesting to see how these two political parties develop in the future, whether the PP is able to consolidate itself as a centre-right party, or whether Vox gets more and more support as people move further to the right. Now, somebody asked me in the comment section, is Aduanas working at the moment here in Spain? The answer to that is yes. Aduanas is the customs service. If you come into Spain through the airports, you'll see the customs officers there. They are the Guardia Civil, the civil guard. They work in their green uniforms, and they are the people that are in charge of customs in this country. Now, I have a bit of a bugbear with the customs service here in Spain, especially when it comes to getting packages sent from outside the European Union. On a few occasions, my sister has sent me packages, my mother sends me packages, and sometimes they get through customs, but sometimes they don't. And you normally get an email telling you that you have to pay an extra amount of money, that you have to pay customs and excise on that package that's coming in. Doesn't matter what it is, they just slap this extra cost on it for things coming in from outside the European Union. And the other day I had one of these experiences. Normally the packages get stuck at the airport. You have to pay a fee to get them released. You have to pay that amount that they want. Sometimes it can be 30, 40, 50 euros depending on what they estimate the value of the package to be. And the other day I had one of these experiences. I have a birthday coming up. My mother decided to send me a package, some socks and some boxer shorts, about 50 Australian dollars in value, a gift to me for my birthday. And what happened this time is that I got a notification in my mailbox from the postie telling me that I had to pay 24 euros and 14 cents when I had to go to the post office to pick this package up. And here, for example, you can see the amount that I had to pay, 24 euros and 14 cents to pick up a package from my mother that is a gift for my birthday. So as you can imagine, I wasn't very happy about this. I went to the post office to express my anger, and the lady there told me that there was nothing that she could do, and if I wanted that package, I would have to pay those 24 euros. So I paid, got my package, and she told me what I can do in the future if I have a similar situation. Now, all of these things are managed by a company here in Spain called ADT Postales, and this is the company that you have to deal with to get your package. This company, in my opinion, is an absolute disgrace, and I'm not even sure if what they're doing is legal. Why can't they distinguish between a package from a family member, let's say for example a gift, which is my situation, or something that you buy online from outside the European Union? And in that case, I can understand that you might need to pay extra money, but for a gift, let's get serious. So I'll just say that name again, ADT Postales, so be careful of them if you get something sent to you when you are in Spain. So there you go, that's my rant for the day. Questions and comments, please leave them in the section below. Debate the situation out as you normally do. If you've had a bad experience with that company that I just mentioned, please let me know about it. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. I'll see you in the next one. Hasta luego.